After Sonic X-treme had the worst development cycle in history, Sega decided to get a fresh new start on a new console, the Dreamcast. Though the Dreamcast was not a very long-lived console, it was successful during its time, with its best-selling game being Sonic Adventure. This game didn't release on the same day as the Dreamcast due to a last-minute bug that I believe was of the game-crashing nature. It was a game that had a lot of research behind it, but the actual development was rushed, so there are a lot of small bugs. Still, it's a game that is very fun. Heck, the bugs make it more fun. Most of said bugs are just small collision issues and make the physics kinda wonky every now and then. But more on those later. Most people heavily enjoy this game, but it does have some critics. The main things they criticize are the physics and character mouth movements. The thing about the physics is that you move correctly, but the animations interfere with the walls and objects in a way that makes some movements appear rough. You may not lose momentum when running, though it looks like you are stopping for a short moment, as shown here. It just makes the game look a little less smooth, but these bugs really don't affect the gameplay any. The mouth movements are easy to explain compared to the physics. Sonic Adventure, like many games, started out in Japanese, so the mouth movements are a little off. Also, if you think about it, Sonic's mouth is traditionally positioned where the camera can see it at all times. So how's this achievable in 3D? Make his mouth larger! It addresses the problems, but with hilarious results. Sonic's mouth in particular is rather large, and all character mouth movements are kind of Jello-like. It's quite fun to watch, but hard to take serious. It took a few cutscenes for me to get used to it, so it's not that distracting, I suppose. The voice acting in the English version has fitting character voices, but there seems to be little guidance for the voice actors. The Japanese voices are just as fitting, if not more, than the English version, but also have better direction. Now, only if I knew what they were saying. It's definitely one of those games where they changed a lot of dialogue during vocalization. So, for example, in the Japanese version, Tails just screams in the first plane crash, but in the English version, he's saying a whole sentence. Now, this is just one of the many examples of dialogue change between regions. At least the dialogue changes don't seem to affect the plot of the game any. Overall, both regions have at least decent voice acting that doesn't detract from the entertainment that much. The music and sound are a little better put together. Most of the sound effects are ones from classic games outside of the background noises. They're very fitting and I have no issue with them. The music is, of course, by Crush 40 in this game. All of it is well made, and each song is fitting to the atmosphere of each level. Every once in a while, the sound mixing is off in the cutscenes, but thankfully there are subtitles so you always know what's going on. The graphics of this game are quite a mixed bag. Some places look better than others. Some look like they belong in the Nintendo 64, and others on the GameCube. But there are two things that always are a constant: the chrome effect and the character models. Said chrome effect is applied to nearly everything in the game, even the characters, who look okay considering the time. For some reason, people often criticize the graphics. I don't really know why. It looks amazing for 1998. The plot is also pretty good for a 90s action game, though I won't tell you anything to avoid a ton of spoilers, as this game has 6 playable characters. These characters are Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, Amy, Big, and Gamma. All of these characters have their own storylines. Sonic, of course, has the longest storyline, and Amy has the shortest. I honestly found Amy's gameplay to be far more fun than every other character's except Sonic's. I wish they gave her a couple more levels, as well as allowing her to spin dash. Tails' gameplay is also pretty good, as it's the same as Sonic's, but with flight. Knuckles is hunting for emerald shards and very long levels that are frustrating but rewarding at the end. Amy's stages are just a slower version of Sonic's, plus she has a hammer to beat the living crap out of anyone who stands in her way. Big the Cat's gameplay is literally fishing. Yup, just fishing. Great. And finally, Gamma plays like if Tails had a gun, as you can shoot and hover during his stages. You shoot enemies to earn more time to complete a level. After you beat the game, or at least certain stages, you can go back and play whatever you have completed. This game's progress is measured in emblems. You find them in the hub world, and you get them after completing a stage. Each stage has 3 ranks, A, B, and C. Each rank is successively harder and has a different goal. The original mission may be to find the Chaos Emerald, but the next rank might be to collect 50 rings and destroy a capsule to save some flickies. This adds quite a lot of replayability without making it feel very repetitive. Though this game has some mistakes, it somehow manages to tie everything together and is one of the best games I've ever played. I give this game a 9 out of 10. I highly recommend you get it. It'll cost you about $20 off of eBay these days if you buy it out of box.